Welcome back to a new episode of Hoops to Futures, featuring yours truly, NQ Chosen, the series where I take y'all into the mind of an up-and-coming profitable trader who went from athlete to trading futures. My name is Gray. I've been doing this for a little over a year. I have received one payout and I'm on the road to receiving my next one. So this is the series where I show y'all the mindset and motivation and psychology on how to approach the charts, how to get off the charts, how to take winning trades, and how to get the most out of your winning trades. Let's get into this setup that we took today. We took one loss and two winners. So let's get to it, bro. I mean, it was a great day. Let's get to it. Today is July 17th, 2026. I'm starting off on the hourly. We did have this 4-hour fair value gap here that was sitting above us. We are in a clear downtrend, and we do have an unmitigated monthly fair value gap resting below us. So that was our draw on liquidity for the day. I did want to see that get tapped in order for us to be bullish, but you're going to see what ends up happening instead. Originally, I'm looking at this as, okay, I want to see a retracement into this 15-minute gap or this 30-minute FVG, and then see our reaction to then go out of it, targeting London lows. I wanted to kind of see it do something like this, boom, and then boom, boom, down here. And we were going to take a trade somewhere in there, but we ended up missing that. Not because we weren't paying attention or anything, but market opens, we didn't get a tap inside of this gap. We literally edged the ever-living shit out of this gap, and we end up getting the inverse out of there, and we end up going to take London lows anyways. We took London lows and we tapped into this 1-hour gap that was sitting all the way to the left, that was resting right above this monthly fair value gap. So if we were going to be bullish or get a reaction out of anything, this was our last line of defense for sure, right? But I didn't want to see us actually get a strong reaction out of this, just because we did have a clear high time frame draw as the monthly fair value gap. So I was just kind of waiting for that, but we ended up displacing 200 plus points. We could look actually 200, yeah, literally 200 plus points, even got even lower. So at this point I'm thinking, all right, we're just bearish for the day. Let me wait for a 15-minute internal to external fair value gap. I can take the fair value gap continuation trade down to the monthly fair value gap, right? But no, what ends up happening is we end up getting the forever model where we inverse this 1-minute gap and we get our change in the state, and it's literally beautiful. I ain't gonna lie, like looking at it, this is A++, but I didn't take this. I faded this. I'm telling you, I caught it in the post. I took 2 dribbles back down and I shot a fadeaway, right? I faded the hell out of this setup because I was just bearish. Like, we had this big dump down. I wanted to see us possibly come tap and create a 15-minute, tap it, and then come back down, right? So I didn't want to take any buys because, one, I didn't really know where our, we didn't really generate any low resistance liquidity to run or anything like that. So I don't know, it just didn't look good to me. And when it doesn't look good to me, I'm talking myself out of just taking setups that I don't like, right? And I feel like everyone should take on that mentality, because if we're just so ready to press the button and so antsy to press the button, then we're going to be such in a higher likelihood to take losses that we don't need to be taking, and over leveraging, when we just need to put our ego to the side and be as objective as possible, considering the market conditions are extremely bearish right now, right? And this setup ends up happening, and it kills, right? We end up taking out buy side liquidity. We end up pumping crazy, and we end up buck a 15-minute continuation down to the lows. We end up getting a 15-minute continuation up to the highs, right? So we end up tapping into this 4-hour, taking out London lows and London highs. So both of our draws on liquidity for the day kind of been taken already, but we do have this 15-minute gap resting here. So we could get a continuation back up to these highs. But at this point, I was kind of looking at this and I realized that I saw that we got this tap into this gap, and I want to replay price because this is actually where I took my first loss in a little while. We tapped London highs inside of this 4-hour, and my fucking goofy ass, I took the first inverse off of the internal sweep. So I'm entered short here, and Trade was not working on TradingView today. So I had to download Trade on my phone, log in, and it didn't even show the charts. I had to switch back on my phone from TradingView to Trade to take the trade. So I'm gonna play price. I think I got an entry at 28,807. So it was right here, right? Not the best entry, but you know, not the absolute worst. My stops were right here. I was targeting these internal lows for a nice little 1.79R trade. It was about 95.5 points, but what ends up happening is we get a lack of displacement. We don't get any follow through, and we get this engulf candle back up. And once I saw this, I had a moment of growth. I had a moment of clarity where I realized that if I hold on to this trade, this clear losing trade, I'm gonna blow this eval. So I closed the trade down $1,700. And it was a great idea because if it would have hit my stop loss, we would have been blew the account. The account would have been gone, right? So I took the L. I took the loss at around 36, 37 points, right? So at this point, I'm out of this trade and I'm ready at this point to just see a real setup occur, right? I want to see something that is obvious, is clear to me. And what ended up being that obvious, clear setup is this 15-minute fair value gap opening up that was bullish after we swept London lows, after we tapped this 1 hour fair value gap, after we just tapped into a higher time frame PD array. We should expect to see a retracement back down into this 15-minute, and that's exactly what happened. So at this point, I took the L. I'm like, all right, let me see what else I could get. I'm waiting. We end up finally getting the tap into the 15-minute, and once we get that tap into the 15-minute, we create this fair value gap. And if ideally, we want to see one tap into the 15-minute and then the V shape out of there. Those are the best reactions out of the 15-minute fair value gaps when we're getting continuation price action. Plus, I liked it even more because we had low resistance liquidity that was built up on the way down to this low. We had external highs resting above as our drawn liquidity. So we had clear draws, we had orders stacked up that can take us to those highs, and we had a PD array to reject from that is going to take us there, right? So at this point, I'm waiting for this inverse. I think once I see this candle, I know that if we get another candle that's pretty engulfing, I'm going to end up front running this gap just because I like the volume that's we're getting out of this gap. We have everything I want to see. So we do, and I end up taking this trade, front running this FVG. I got great RR on this trade, and then I think I'm all out at 86.5 points, and I'm showing the executions on the screen right now. It was a pretty quick trade. I think I was in this trade for maybe 5 minutes, and it ended up banking perfectly. We got in, we got out, we ran all the low resistance liquidity back up to these highs, and we made all the money back that we just lost on the previous trade. All the money back. What could have been a straight losing day, down $2,000, down 80 some dollar day off of real money, we were able to make all that money back, plus we were able to get into profit a little bit, right? For my third trade, it was actually two trades, but it was really one trade. I did want to see us come short back down to this sell side liquidity inside of this 15-minute, because mind you, I'm still at the back of my mind subconsciously bearish, just considering we did tap this 4 hour. We are respecting equilibrium of the 4 hour. We just took London highs. We are extremely bearish on the higher time frame. We're in a downtrend. We just swept higher time frame liquidity inside of a fair value gap. I want to see some type of retracement. I want to see some type of rejection out of this gap, right? So we end up getting this 1 minute ifvg, the actual ifvg that I should have taken on this setup. I end up taking here instead, and I end up going short a little shorter after that. It was a little 1-to-1 scalp. I wanted to see if I can actually make a little bit of money on the day because I was around break even. So I wanted to see this be my actual setup for the day. So we end up doing that. We get a pretty good move down. Yeah, we wick lower. And then at this point, I move my stops to break even because I'm not trying to lose money after I just made all my money back. We get brutal break even all the way out the trade. We tap into this 1 minute FVG. I wanted to see if this becomes a continuation out of this 1 minute gap. I'm gonna re-enter. So what happens is we end up getting the continuation lower. I short one more time. I take one more stab at it, stops at the body high, and then my target is the sell side liquidity with my internal TP, my first TP at these lows, and I was going to go break even here as well once we took profit there. So we ended up actually playing out this trade. We end up going lower, and we absolutely edge the fuck out of these lows. Look at this. Look at this. Like, I'm actually sick. Like, this is actually nasty price action. We get equal lows at this low. My last profit target was at these lows. We miss it by literally 1 tick, which is insane. Like, that's some goofy shit. So we end up taking profit at internal lows and I go break even and we get stopped at break even. And guess what happens next? You're never going to guess what happens next because we all go through the cannon event where we get edged on our low, and this is what happens. Within the next two candles, we go and smack sell side liquidity like we were supposed to, and we're not in the trade to catch all the profits. That was my day this morning. It was a moment of growth for me. I more saw it as a moment of opportunity to get better, to become better on the charts, become better mentally, put my ego to the side and really just submit to what the markets are showing me and not be that type of guy who just continues to lose accounts because I can't take a loss. And because I was able to cut my loss today, I was also able to make it all back, and I was even able to make a little bit more money as well. My total profit for the day was around $600. We're up 600 on our new My Funded Futures eval. It should be a funded account, but your boy got banned from if y'all seen yesterday's video, bro, your boy got freaking banned on My Funded Futures, but we got another account running it up too. I'm showing y'all everything. Before I take y'all out of here, I want to let you know, for all my athletes who are trying to trade, for anyone who's really struggling trading, this shit's possible. It's real. You can do this every single day. You just got to be patient. You got to know when you're wrong and when you're right. And when you're right, you're going to be able to put on more size. And when you're wrong, you're going to be able to cut your losses and cut your losers effectively. And that's exactly what I did today. And honestly, it's a sign of my growth. It's a sign of good trading. I've been doing this for about a year now, so I've seen a lot of candlesticks. I've seen a lot of price movement, and for me, this was a pretty good day. Even though I took a loss, I took a pretty good loss to take today. All came from me not being worried about the loss, me clearing that out my head. Just like when you miss a shot, you're unconscious, you don't care, you see what's happening next and you take advantage of that opportunity. So for anyone watching who's maybe new or maybe struggling with reading price action and things of that nature, just know you're gonna get better. It all comes when you put more time into the charts, when you forward test, when you kind of really understand what's holding you back, and you kind of just sit back. I'm gonna say this every single video, you got to be MJ on the charts. Once you're okay fading setups, you're gonna be so much better off because you're not going to be addicted to pressing the button, and you're going to want to be able to manage risk and not lose money. You should be able to not want to lose money more than you want to make money, and that's going to put you in the right mindset to look at the markets objectively, sit back, relax, and just let NASDAQ take you. Just gotta let NASDAQ take you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You just gotta let him take you, bro. That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's been your boy Chosen. Like, subscribe if you're new. Comment down below if you learned anything from today. I'm gonna be documenting all of my trades and this entire journey from unprofitable to profitability, going from an ex-basketball player to trading futures full-time and making a full-time's income doing this. So if y'all want to stay tuned for that, make sure to subscribe. And it's been your boy Chosen. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.